And then you got to find joy in life. Now, you know, we have challenges in this world these days. Nothing like Dr. Eggers was, at least not here, was looking at. But we have challenges, and they can get pretty bad. But there are not that many issues that we're dealing with that you can't have a little fun with. That you can't lighten up what's going on. It helps you. It helps you deal with it. When you laugh, it releases endorphins. It makes you happy. Just smiling releases endorphins. Day to day, there are very few things that you can't find a little fun with. You know, I told you I was OCD. And so one time, when Daniel was 4 years old, we went up to a festival, an outdoor festival, up in near Charlottesville. And Daniel had to go to the bathroom. And so it was outdoors, and so it was porta potties. And so I took him up to the porta potty. And I was getting ready to go in with him, but he's 4 years old, so he wants to take care of business himself. And well, his mom's not around, so I say, okay, go on in. Yeah. So that's a red flag. If you'd been behind me in line that day, I think this whole story would not exist. So he goes in, and I wait outside. And I know it's bad. It's not as bad as you're thinking right now, but it's bad. Look, you can't even bear to look at me. This is how bad this is. So he goes in, and after an appropriate amount of time, he comes out, looking no worse for wear. Right. So I'm like, well, you know, he's all proud of himself, 4 years old. I'm like, way to go, bud. You took care of business on your own, 4 years old. Good job. I said, let's go to the car, and we'll get some of that antibacterial gel, and we'll clean up your hands. And he says, I don't need to. Now, this is amazing, because every time there's going to be 25% to get, then another 50%, and then I'm going to have to explain it to 25%. But so he comes out and he says, I don't need to.
Parents know.
I'm like, why not? He goes, I wash my hands in there. I said, wait, you wash your hands in the porta potty? It's 10 years ago, before they had all that fancy stuff in there now. I said, you wash your hands in the porta potty? He said, yeah, in the sink. I said, there's a sink in the porta potty? He said, yeah, I use the soap. Yeah, right.
Everybody's got boys. Understands the soap.
Maybe that's the issue. I looked in the porta potty, there was not a sink. There was something that looked like a sink. There was not soap. But in that sink, there was something that looked like soap. I'm a hypochondriac.
So now you disinfect him from head to toe before you get to your car.
His feet did not hit the ground till we got to the car. He doesn't have fingerprints.
And your wife never let you take him to the bathroom alone.
This is why I had to find some joy before we got back to the blanket. I had to find humor in this moment, which means all the way to the car, I'm like shedding, and then all the way from the car to the blanket, I'm like, okay, something's funny here. Something's got to be funny here, because I was in trouble. Not funny immediately. Eventually, now, as you can see, it's become funny. But for a hypochondriac,
Oh yeah, that was a rough moment for you.